What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I thought I would do a video on updating you guys on where I'm at with my entire journey with Islam. I know I haven't made an Islamic related video in quite a long time. A lot of that is obviously personal, but the other half of it is also to do with YouTube. YouTube has just been flagging all my videos that have the keyword like Muslim or hijab in it. And so I've been trying to get back into their good books, and so you'll see in my channel a lot of my recent videos are beauty related, and that hasn't really helped at all. I just say screw it, I'm so done with being silenced by these big corporations, so I'm just gonna keep on doing the kind of videos that I like to do, which are these type of videos. So again, in today's video, I just want to update you guys on where I am at. It's not always sunshine and butterflies, so this isn't the most like positive, motivating type of video. I'm just trying to keep it real with you guys, basically. So ever since I moved here in Australia, I've had a lot more time to reflect on myself and focus more on me as a person. And it was quite a hard process just because, you know, coming to the realization that, you know, I've let myself down, I've let you guys down, and, you know, most of all, I've let Allah down. And the reason I say that is because when I was in the process of learning about Islam and I wanted to convert, and I was still, you know, keeping everything hush-hush, everything was a secret, I was wearing the hijab in secret. It was a very, very tough time in my life, but my iman was the strongest during that time in my life. Like, things were absolute shit, but I was still super duper passionate. I wanted nothing more than to practice my religion openly, like freely. I wanted everyone to know that I was Muslim and that I wasn't ashamed of it and I was proud of it and all that kind of stuff. I still remember one of my prayers that I prayed every single night was for, of course, Allah to help me in my journey and make it easier, make my struggle easier, and also to use me as a tool to help spread the word of Islam. Then I finally had the guts to tell my parents that I converted. I told everyone in my life what my decision was, and I was able to practice being a Muslim openly. Everyone knew that I was a Muslim and everything was going great. Everyone was super duper supportive, they were super encouraging, and it was just an amazing time. Like, that in itself is a miracle, and it encouraged me to share my story because my story was such a positive one here on YouTube. When I did that, I initially got like so much support. Like, I just felt like the entire Muslim community, who I was so desperate to be a part of, was just welcoming me with like open arms. Like, I just felt so complete and I just felt so passionate, and it got even better when after I put that video out, a lot of the people who were either converts already or were thinking of converting and all that kind of stuff contacted me, and I was able to help so many people in their struggle because, of course, I've already been in their shoes. Like, I converted to Islam, I know the process, I can relate to the hardship and all that kind of stuff, and so when I was able to help people like that, like, I didn't see it at the time, but that was fulfilling my prayer of Allah using me as a tool to help spread the word of Islam. Like, that was completely fulfilling that prayer. Allah was answering my prayer. And although I was able to help so many converts online, who, by the way, I still stay in touch with, I've all of a sudden had to battle through a different kind of problem that I was not expecting. So putting my video out there, I knew I was going to get hate from, you know, a lot of people who don't like Muslims. That's just a fact. There's a lot of people out there that don't like Muslims and they're very vocal about it, and I was prepared for that. What I wasn't prepared for, though, was Muslims themselves coming after me and attacking every little thing I did in all of my videos. So I did a lot of vlogs, so that was obviously more personal because I'm showing you my family, I'm showing you my everyday to-day life, I'm showing you, you know, so even simple things like what I'm wearing, what I'm eating, and all that kind of stuff, and every single person in the comment section was just nitpicking every little detail and like explaining to me why what I was doing was wrong and was haram, it was still the kuffar way, and it was just so completely unexpected. Like, I did not expect that my own ummah, my own community, the community that I've been wanting to be a part of for the longest time, I just felt as though they just turned on me. I'm not kidding you guys, this sounds super duper nerdy, but I used to work in retail, and every time like a hijabi or a Muslim couple would come in, I would get like excited because I can say assalamu alaikum and not get, you know, weird looks. And, you know, obviously I was a convert and I was hiding, So I wasn't able to say that like freely out loud. You know, I don't say to anyone in my household as well, because my household is a Catholic household. But that was exactly the problem. Like, the problem was that I saw validation from the Muslim community, so from other individuals, from other Muslims, and that should never be the case. Like, now I'm in the mindset of religion being a very deeply personal thing between me and my God. It's just between you and your God. Like, at the time, I was so consumed with proving to people, like, yes, this is not just a phase, because this is what a lot of reverts go through. Like, a lot of people will just roll their eyes and be like, oh, she's just going through a phase or something like that. And, you know, I have to continuously prove that this was my choice. Oh, that's another thing. Like, I can do an entire video on this, by the way. Like, people just assuming that I converted because my partner was a Muslim. I can do an entire video on that. Just that subject alone, it pisses me off so much, because people don't understand the hardship that goes through when you decide to convert, and you just can't, I don't know, in my head, like, you can't convert for someone else. Like, it's just, you would not have the strength to go through all the type of shit that we go through if you're just converting to please someone else. You know what I mean? But that's completely besides the point. I was so consumed with proving to people that I was a practicing Muslim, that this was my decision, and I wanted to fit into everyone's idea of what a good Muslim should be, and it just drove me like crazy. All the advice from strangers I've never met and put on a platform for everyone to see all my sins that you point out, like, they did the complete opposite of what advice is meant to do, which is to better yourself and all that kind of stuff. It just made like everything related to Islam a burden for me. Like, let me explain that more in detail. So, for example, the hijab. A lot of people, oh my god, to this day I still get a lot of comments. I usually just delete them because I cannot be bothered dealing with that shit anymore. But I would always get comments on my hijab, like, my hair is showing, you're not meant to wear it like that, you're better off taking the hijab off, you're not meant to wear makeup with it, you can't wear that cloth, it's too sheer, or just all that kind of bullshit, right? I'm sorry if I keep swearing, by the way. I am going to censor it. I'm just in like a rant mode right now. But all those criticisms online and also in real life, because I did have to deal with a lot of that stuff in real life as well, it just made like putting the hijab on, which, by the way, I fought very hard for. Like, I had so many problems at work, you guys. I actually ended up leaving that job just because my boss was being a complete like dick about the entire thing. That's again another story for another day, but basically I fought very hard to have the right to be able to wear what I want to wear. From that to it being like a burden, it just went full 360, and it was just down to me and, you know, seeking validation from other people. Like, every day I'd put the hijab on, and while I'm putting it on, I'm just like, what's the point? Like, what is the point if people don't even consider this as real hijab? You know, like, coming from a convert, do you know how hard it is to wear this when you come from that kind of background? Like, I didn't grow up with Muslims. My family is not Muslim. My friends were not Muslim. A lot of my close friends are Muslim, but obviously you mix with a lot of people. Like, I went to university and all that kind of stuff, and I had to deal with discrimination there too, which I've never had to deal with before putting on the hijab. But yeah, basically my point is I have to deal with all that kind of stuff as well, and then I'm faced with people not even considering what I'm doing as like proper hijab. Like, do you know how like absolutely frustrating that is? Like, I'm here trying very, very hard, and you're just discrediting like my entire effort. It was tough. It was just tough, you guys, and I just didn't have the mental strength that I think I do now. I think I'm in definitely a better headspace now, but back then I was just so full of anger. Like, I honestly felt like I was so betrayed, and I'm gonna admit that a lot of it was also my fault, because I put people on pedestals as well. Like, whenever I thought of a Muslim before being part of the ummah, I always thought that they were, you know, very religious people, they are very encouraging, they help one another and stuff like that. And the reason why I thought that was because I surrounded myself in real life with actual Muslims who were that type of Muslim to help you and support you and all that kind of stuff. Online, it's not the case whatsoever. There's just too many haram police out there that's ready to like nitpick anything that you do. Oh, I actually have like the perfect example for you guys. Like this Instagram page, they asked me if they could share my story on their page, and I was like, sure, that's fine, you can do that. Like my story obviously included my entire struggle and how hard it was to convert and to deal with all the personal problems that come along with that. And literally, the entire comment section under that photo was just to do with why does she have a watch on her right hand when it should be on her left. Like that was literally all what the Muslims were talking about in the comment section, like just criticizing the fact that I had a watch on my right and not my left. Like it was so ridiculous. Because this Instagram page didn't show my face, so it was literally like more about my story, but because there's the whole watch thing included, they just decided to nitpick on that and forget the entire like moral of the story. But yeah, it was just completely ridiculous and it was very discouraging, and I just felt so betrayed. Like before, I wanted so badly to be part of the ummah, and then at that point I didn't want anything to do with the ummah. Like I was so done. I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna do the basics. I'm just gonna do me. I don't want to hear anything about your damn advice. I don't need it. I don't know you. I don't know why you're putting it like out in the open for everyone to see what my sins are or what you think my sins are. And yeah, I just didn't want anything to do with it. I stopped replying to, this has to be like one of my biggest regrets, but I stopped replying to a lot of people who were seeking for help from me, like privately through my emails and stuff like that, because I would literally get like hundreds of emails asking for help because they're in the process of converting and stuff like that. But I was just, anything to do with Islam, I've just had enough of it at that point, because I was so exhausted with having to hear what people have to say about me being not a good Muslim. I started posting on YouTube less and less, especially to do with like Islam and my experience and all that kind of stuff. I completely stopped doing vlogs too, because I didn't want, like, people were attacking my family, and that was the line. And as soon as they started doing that, I couldn't deal with it anymore. I've gone and deleted like all of these comments, by the way. Like just thinking about them pisses me off, so if I actually see them, like, I don't know, I don't even know what I think I'm gonna do. But yeah, basically I just wanted to like have a little bit of a breather, and I'm pretty happy I did that, just because, you know, taking that step back, I was able to see and reflect on what was actually important. The thing that really helped me put everything into perspective was to take scenarios online and put it in real life perspective. So if someone, a complete stranger who I don't know at all, and I know that they don't know me, were to come up to me and say, this is everything that's wrong with what you're doing, this is that, you're doing this is haram, and you should just stop altogether. If someone actually did that in real life, I would just go ahead and tell them to, I'm trying to think of a more censored version of saying that. Basically, I wouldn't give them the time of day. So if I am not going to give them the time of day in real life, why the hell am I doing it on YouTube? Why am I taking it as such a personal attack and, like, you know, losing sleep over it and things like that? Like, this is a complete stranger. God knows what they actually do in real life, and like, why does their opinion matter? Like, I kept, like, you know, repeating it in my head. I was like, why do you care? Like, if it were to happen in real life, if a stranger were to come up to you and say what they say online, like, you wouldn't give a shit. So why do I care so much when it's online? And yeah, that basically, when I put that together, I was just like, wow, like, why am I letting this stop me from doing something that I was so passionate about? Why did I enable this to, like, suck out all the joy, all the passion of, like, learning about Islam? And that's basically the main thing, you guys. Like, don't seek validation from other people. Like, it is so easy for them to be brave behind their damn keyboards and to pinpoint everything that's wrong with your life, But I bet you if they take a long, good look at their own lives, it's not going to be any better. If anything, it's worse. I mean, they're sitting there, literally watching everything you do in your entire life just to nitpick like all your errors, like, and type up an entire freaking essay all about it. Like, you gotta be like pretty pathetic to do that. So again, it goes back to, why should we give them the time of day? Like, why should we give a person like that the time of day? Why should we let them dictate how we practice such a personal thing as our own religion? And even in real life scenarios, I did have to go through, you know, people telling me, you know, what to wear, what not to wear, and things like that, and it driving me absolutely crazy. And basically the best way to handle that is to just be upfront and honest with everyone. Just be like, okay, I'm a grown-ass woman, I'm a grown-ass person, and I'm new to all of this. Like, it's going to take me it's gonna take me some time to perfect everything. Like, you've been Muslim your entire life and you're not perfect. You expect me to be perfect, and I've been Muslim what? At the time it was like less than a year, and all these expectations were like being placed upon me, and I was like, no, that's absolutely unreasonable. And like, sorry, I think like some fluff is like going around in the air. I was wearing like a wool sweater, and I think all the fibers are just like in the air right now. But basically in a real life scenario, like when I was faced with scenarios where people would keep advising me over and over again, basically nagging me about the same thing that I wasn't comfortable doing just yet. So for example, like wearing certain clothes and not wearing certain clothes, like jeans and things like that, and people giving me a hard time because I wore a pair of jeans. Like, if you're the type of person that only wears like very, very loose clothing, you don't wear jeans or anything like that, that's absolutely fine. Like, alhamdulillah, good for you, but don't force it on someone else who's not in that place just yet. Like, it again goes back to being like, we're all in this journey, right? Like, whether you're born Muslim or you're a convert, like, we're all going through this journey, and we're just at different points in that journey. So just because you're up here does not give you the right to look down on someone here or force them to go up here when they're not ready yet. Like, I think that that's absolutely wrong. A lot of the times when you force someone to do something that they're not ready for, they're gonna end up resenting it, and they're gonna go, they were here, you force them up here, they're gonna end up down here. It just doesn't work. So yeah, basically when you're facing it in actual like real life, you just have to be upfront about it. And of course you don't have to be rude. Definitely don't be rude, but do let the person know kindly and in a respecting or respectable manner that, hey, I appreciate your advice. Thank you for taking the time to, you know, talk to me and advise me on these matters, but I personally am not ready to do whatever it is that they're asking you to do, or that it's your personal decision not to do it. There is no compulsion in religion. That is in the Quran. It's very, very blunt and obvious right there. So no one can force you to do any religious duty that you don't want to do. So just let everyone know what stage you're at, basically. If they're really like persistent and they're nagging you about a certain thing, be open to them, tell them what your situation is, and just be like, look, I'm struggling as it is. Like, not everyone is okay with me showing a bit of my hair like that, or I'm not really wearing tight clothes. I'm actually wearing like, I love loose clothes, so I usually always wear loose tops and then just a pair of jeans or something. But just tell them you're taking it one step at a time, and that you're not in that stage in your iman, in your religion, that you can do what they're asking you to do. Having an open line of communication is key. Like, I'm pretty sure the people like in your life, that's actually in your life, not just online. The online people, it's a whole different like environment online, but the ones that you're actually like physically, you know, with, and you can, you know, they're physically there, basically. That's why I'm trying to say their relationship with you is a whole lot closer. It's more personal, basically, and I highly doubt that those people want to, you know, bring you hardship, cause struggle in your life. And so when you're being open to them about, you know, your struggle, like, I'm struggling to wear the hijab. I'm struggling to keep this hijab on. This is a way for me to ease that struggle. And so although it may not be, it may not fit your definition or view of what proper hijab is, this is what's working for me right now. If I push it any further, I'm scared I'm just gonna fully take it off and it won't be good for anyone. By the way, if you're one of those people that say, oh, it's better for you to take off your hijab than to wear it in an improper way, you should really reflect on what you're saying, because if you compare it to prayer, like we have, you know, our daily prayers, and if I missed one, are you actually going to tell me, oh, don't bother to do all the other prayers for the rest of your life because you missed that one prayer, so it's not proper, so you should just stop? You actually going to do that? So why are you recommending it for the hijab? Think about it. I also wanted to add that you should try and focus on the positive. Like, it's so easy to dwell on everything, all the negative that people are saying, but people are also saying a lot of positive and encouraging things, and you need to learn how to focus on those positive things rather than dwell on the negative. And that's a very, very huge tip that I want to give you guys, because again, it's so easy to fall into the trap of negativity, but in every situation, there's always something positive, and there's always a learning curve, and there's always good. You just really need to make the conscious effort to focus on the good and try and filter out the bad, and it's going to go such a long way, you guys. Anyways, I've ranted on long enough. I'm sorry if this video was all over the place. I do hope that you got the overall message of this video, which is basically, I'm just done with police, like whether that be the Haraam Police pointing out every single haram thing I do in my life, or it's YouTube flagging all my Muslim related videos. Like, I'm completely done with bullies. I'm just gonna keep doing me. I'm just gonna keep on working with my relationship with God, and I'm gonna keep on making videos like this because I find them helpful. I know that when I was a convert, or when I was in the process of learning about Islam, there were very little sources for me to get in touch with, like a lack of support system basically. So it would be an honor for me to support you guys. Those who are struggling, do contact me, email me, whether that be in the comments down below, or you could do it privately through email or on my DM in Instagram. If you did find this video helpful and you enjoyed it, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you'll get notified the next time I put up a new video. Also, put your recommendations for videos that you want me to do in the future so that I can read what you guys want me to do and, you know, make a video of that in the future. You know what I mean. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!